Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Tuesday, October 31st. It is Halloween today, so happy Halloween to everyone watching this video. Hopefully you can make some money tonight on this 4-game NBA slate. It is a short slate tonight, so this video is probably going to be pretty quick, but I'm still going to go through each position and hit on some guys I like each position. Then we'll build a core of 5 guys that you can look to put into your lineups, or if you want to build a lineup around the 5 guys, you can definitely do that as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started looking at point guard today. Alright, so up top at point guard, we got Giannis at 12,500 going up against the Thunder. I'm not going to tell you not to play Giannis today because it's a 4-game slate. He's definitely in play. Giannis is pretty much in play on every slate, especially on a short slate. But this could be a matchup where he might have some trouble. I'd imagine the OKC is going to put Paul George on him or Andre Roberson, and both of those guys are pretty good defenders. But it is Giannis, and Giannis, I would say, is pretty much matchup proof. So if you want to pay for Giannis, he's definitely in play. He's really expensive. You're going to need probably at least 60, 65 to be worth that price tag. But even in a tough matchup, Giannis has had great games this year in tough matchups. So if you want to pay for him, I think he's definitely in play at 12,500. Russell Westbrook's the other stud on this slate. Him and Giannis are really the only guys over 11K or even over 10K. I think the next, Andre Drummond's the next most expensive guy on the slate at 8,200. So Giannis and Westbrook are pretty much the only 2 guys you really have to pay up for today. So if you want to pay up for them, I think they're definitely in play. I'm not going to tell you not to play them, but I won't be plugging them into the core because I do like some of these guys in the mid-tier. And if I pay up for Giannis and Westbrook, I can't really target these guys in the mid-tier that I really like. So I'm not going to be plugging them into the core, but Giannis, Westbrook, both great plays if you want to pay up for them. But looking in this mid-tier where I really like today, first off, one of my core plays today is at 7,300. D'Angelo Russell playing at home against Phoenix. Just really like this spot for D'Angelo Russell. It is a great matchup. The Suns are terrible against point guards, and we have two teams today that do not play defense at all, and both of them play at a very fast pace. Both Phoenix and Brooklyn, they play up in tempo. So this game could be very high scoring. I think this is a game you're going to want to have a ton of exposure to. So I am going to be looking to get exposure today with D'Angelo Russell at 7,300. He has been in a little bit of a slump lately. He did come off an injury. He's only played 18 and 24 minutes off of injury. But I think after 2 days of rest, I believe they played on Sunday, so he's got a full day of rest and pretty much another full day since this game doesn't play till 7:30. So I think with 2 full days of rest, D'Angelo Russell should be ready to go for this game, should be able to play his full allotment of minutes. And if that is the case, just love this spot for D'Angelo Russell. Love the matchup. Phoenix is terrible against point guards defensively, so D'Angelo Russell is a guy I really have a ton of interest in today at 7,300. And then looking for some other point guards in that mid-tier, Lonzo Ball is 300 less and gets a matchup against Detroit. Now, I think that Detroit's probably going to put Avery Bradley on Lonzo Ball. And Avery Bradley, we know, one of the best defenders in the league, which is definitely scary for me. Lonzo hasn't really been playing that well lately. He is 7K, hasn't really seen much of a price decrease. He's actually increased in price from his last game when he was 6,600 against Utah. But Lonzo at 7K, you really kind of need at least 40 fantasy points, I would say, to really pay off that price tag, or at least get close to 40, which he hasn't been doing lately. In a tough matchup where I'd imagine Detroit's going to put Avery Bradley on him, a really good defender, I think I'm going to stay away from Lonzo Ball today. I'd much rather have D'Angelo Russell for just 300 more. So I don't have a ton of interest in Lonzo. Looking in the 6K range, really like a guy here, another core play for me. Reggie Jackson at 6,200 going up against the Lakers. Just love this spot for Reggie Jackson. I would imagine the Lakers are going to put Lonzo Ball on Reggie Jackson, and KENTAVIOUS Caldwell-Pope will defend Avery Bradley. And if that is the case, Reggie Jackson could just absolutely smash in this spot. And at 6,200, for him to get 6x value, you need 36 DK points, which he could totally do in this game. We know the Lakers, they play at a very fast pace, and that's going to allow Detroit to have a lot more possessions, a lot more opportunities for Reggie Jackson to acquire fantasy points, whether it be assists, rebounds, scoring, whatever. Just think it's a good spot for Reggie Jackson. The price tag's very nice as well. So he is another core play for me today at 6,200. Just really like this mid-tier of guys from 7 to 6 to 5K in that range. A lot of guys I'm liking in that range, so that's why I'm not going to be paying up for Giannis or Russ. Just really intrigued by some of these guys in the mid-tier. Reggie Jackson being one of them, I am going to be plugging him at the guard position, 6,200. Then looking for some other point guards we can target Darren Collison's 200 more, gets to face Sacramento, a revenge game for Darren Collison. He did play for the Kings last year. I would much rather have Reggie Jackson for 200 more, but if you really like the revenge game narrative, maybe you want to target Darren Collison here at 6K going up against his former team. I'm always intrigued rostering guys in revenge games, so you want to target Collison today, I think you definitely can at 6K. De'Aaron Fox at 5,900, also a guy I think you can target going up against the Pacers. The Pacers, terrible defensive team against point guards. Darren Collison, not a very good defender. Fox hasn't really been doing that much as of late. In his last 2 games, he's only put up 24 and 12 DraftKings points. But in this matchup against the Pacers, a team that really struggles to defend guards, I think De'Aaron Fox could definitely get 5 to 6x value in this matchup. He does play off the bench, but he still sees close to 30 minutes just about every night. He did start in their last game, but I believe George Hill rested for that game. I believe George Hill is going to be back today, so Fox will continue to play off the bench, but he still sees plenty of minutes. So I think if you want to target him at 5,900, I think he is definitely in play. And then looking for some sub 5K guards, I don't think there's a ton here that I like. Mike James maybe at 4,900 going up against the Nets. Mike James has been starting for the Suns. He is their starting point guard right now, but he hasn't been playing a ton of minutes, and he hasn't really been producing either. He's been playing near 25, 26, 27 minutes in that range. Hasn't really had any good games besides against Sacramento where he put up 30. But he is only 4,900. He gets you 25, 30 DK points. You'll definitely take that at 4,900. And obviously the matchup against Brooklyn is great, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if Mike James got 5, 6x value in this spot. So I think he's a fine value play today at 4,900 if you want to target him. But I think that's pretty much it for point guard. I'm not going to be targeting any of these guys sub 4K, just they don't play enough minutes to where I'd be really interested in them. Maybe Jordan Clarkson. I think Jordan Clarkson's a fine value play today at 4,200. He does play off the bench, so he should be able to avoid Avery Bradley's defense. And Clarkson, we know, definitely can score the ball when he comes off the bench, could easily get 6x value in this matchup. He is only 4,200, and for 6x, you need 24 DK points. So if you want to target him as a value play, I think Jordan Clarkson would be a guy I would target sub 5K. But other than that, I think he's pretty much the only one I see really, really cheap. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for point guard. Those are some guys I'm going to be looking to target today. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, so at shooting guard today, up top we've got Devin Booker at 7,900. Devin Booker, a core play for me, going to be plugging him in at shooting guard. Just love this spot for Devin Booker. The matchup's great against Brooklyn. Like I said earlier, a team that doesn't play a ton of defense, plays at a very fast pace. So just a great matchup for Devin Booker. He did finally look like himself in his last game against Portland. He had 34 points in that game, also got 6 assists and 6 rebounds, put up 50 DraftKings points. So we know this is the kind of upside that Devin Booker brings, especially with Eric Bledsoe out. He's going to be relied on a ton. He plays a ton of minutes. He's going to score the ball when he's on the court. And in a matchup against a Brooklyn team that, like I said, bad defensive team, I think this game's going to be very, very high scoring. Definitely want to get you some exposure. So I'm going to be looking to get more exposure to this game today with Devin Booker, a core play for me at 7,900 at shooting guard. I think Victor Oladipo is a fine contrarian play for 200 less if you want to target him. But I would much rather have Booker for just 200 more. I think Booker's probably going to outscore Oladipo. But Oladipo, did want to mention him. Fine matchup against Sacramento, I think. If you want to pay up for him, if you have the salary for Oladipo, he's definitely in play. 7,700. Then looking for some value shooting guards that we can target. KENTAVIOUS Caldwell-Pope in a revenge game going up against his former team, the Pistons. It is a really bad matchup for KCP. I'd imagine he's going to have to see Avery Bradley defense, and Avery Bradley, like I said earlier, a really good defender. But it is a revenge game. You always can consider guys in revenge games. So if you want to target KCP here at 4,800, hasn't been playing that well lately, but he's still seeing the minutes. Played 42 minutes against Washington. That game did go to overtime. But even after the first overtime, I believe KCP was at like 36, 37 minutes. So if the game's competitive, KCP will be on the court a ton. The Lakers need his defense. So I think he's definitely in consideration for value today at 4,800. Also think you can target Stanley Johnson at 4,300 going up against the Lakers. This is another guy that just plays a ton of minutes, rarely comes off the court. If you just look at his last 3 games, he's played 36, 31, and 41 minutes. And it's crazy that he plays all these minutes. Rarely has any monster fantasy games for a guy that can play 40-plus minutes. When he played 41 minutes against the Warriors, he only put up 29 DraftKings points. So it is scary. He doesn't really do much when he's on the court. but he is playing over 30 minutes about every game. It is a matchup against the Lakers. Johnson could definitely get 6x value in this spot. He is 4,300. He gets you 25 DK points. That's 6x value. So if you want to target him as a value play today, I think he's definitely in play at 4,300. Already mentioned Jordan Clarkson here. I think he's also in play at 4,200. You want to target him for value. Definitely fine by me. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for shooting guard. There's some guys I'm going to be looking to target here. Like I said, it is a 4-game slate, so we're not going to have a ton of options. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright, so at small forward here, Paul George, 7,500, going up against Milwaukee. I think Paul George really cheap here. I'm not sure who he's going to have to see defensively, whether it be Chris Middleton, Giannis. Whoever it is, it could wind up being sort of a tough matchup for PG. And I just don't think I'm going to be targeting him here just because I like other guys like Booker, D'Angelo Russell in that 7K range. Even though I like the price tag on Paul George, there are just other guys I'd much rather have in that tier. So I don't think I'm going to have a ton of interest in him. Same with Carmelo Anthony. I just much rather have D'Angelo Russell, Devin Booker in that 7K range. I can't play everyone in the 7K range, so got to take a stand somewhere. So if you're looking in that range, just give me Russell, Booker, even Oladipo I'd rather have over PG and Carmelo. So I don't have a ton of interest in them. Looking for other small forwards that we can target. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, I think he's a fine value mid-tier play at 5,500 going up against Phoenix. Like I've just been saying, Phoenix terrible defensively. Played at a very fast pace. And Rondé Hollis-Jefferson gets the minutes at times. Saw 35 minutes against Cleveland, saw 30 minutes against Denver. And he is only 5,500, seeing over 30 minutes a game. And in this matchup, I think he could definitely get 6x value. So if you want to target him as a sort of mid-tierish value play, don't mind him at 5,500. And some other guys in this price tier, TJ Warren at 5,200. I think TJ Warren, another guy you can target sort of cheaper values tier at small forward at 5,200. It's just a good matchup for TJ Warren. I'm not sure if he's going to have to see DeMarre Carroll or not. Carroll is currently questionable for this game, and I would say DeMarre Carroll is probably Brooklyn's best defender. So that won't be the greatest matchup for Warren. But in this game that I think is going to be pretty high scoring and played at a fast pace, TJ Warren definitely in play. Small forward, if you're looking in that price range, I think he is a fine option. CARIS LEVERT, you want to target him for 100 less. Another guy that could see an uptick in minutes if DeMarre Carroll is out. If Carroll does miss this game, you would think LeVert's going to have to see near 30 minutes, if not more than that. In a matchup against Phoenix, definitely possible for him to get 6x value. So I think he's also a fine sort of mid-tier value play at small forward if you want to target him. And I think that's pretty much it for the cheap guys. Maybe Stanley Johnson, I've already mentioned him, 4,300. I think he's a fine value play. And then another guy I think you can target at that same price range as Stanley Johnson, Bogdanovic for the Kings. I think he is a fine value play if you want to target him at 4,300. It's pretty risky. You don't know really what you're going to get from him. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, 25, 25, and 23 minutes in the 3 games that he has played this year. But he is a really good shooter. If he gets hot, he could definitely put up near 30 DK points, which is great at 4,300. So I think he's another. I'd probably target him in GPPs only because if he doesn't get high, if he's not making the shot, it's really not going to do much. But at 4,300, if he gets 6x value, that's 25 DK points. So Bogdanovic, 4,300, another guy I think is a fine value play today. Small forward. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for small forward. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Alright, so at power forward, there's not a ton that I really like here. There are guys at other positions that I've talked about, like RHJ, TJ Warren. I think you can target these guys. There is a core play for me at power forward today, and that's at 5,200. Thaddeus Young going up against the Kings. Right now, as I'm recording this video, I'm recording this on Monday night. Domantas Sabonis is currently questionable for this game. If Domantas Sabonis misses this game, Thaddeus Young could be looking at some heavy minutes. Their front court's going to really be thin for this game. Miles Turner has already been ruled out, I believe. And if Sabonis doesn't play either, Thaddeus Young could possibly have to play near 35-40 minutes, which he has been seeing as of late. And it is a pretty good matchup against the Kings. Right now, Zach Randolph is questionable. If he doesn't play for this game, Thaddeus Young would probably be matched up with Scalavissiere. And that's a matchup that Thaddeus Young can definitely win. So he's a value play I really like today at power forward, especially if Sabonis doesn't play. Young could be looking at some heavy minutes. So I think he's a value play you definitely want to target today at power forward for 5,200, especially if Sabonis is out. And then one more guy I like at power forward, Scalavissiere. Like I said, Zach Randolph is currently questionable, and if Randolph does not play, Scalabus here could be looking at some heavy minutes as well. And when this guy gets the minutes, he can definitely produce for you fantasy-wise. We saw him get 25 minutes against Denver. He put up 30 DK points. 28 minutes against Phoenix, put up 23 DK points. So really all you need is the minutes. And if Zach Randolph is out, then Scal will definitely see an uptick in minutes. So I think if you want to target him as another value play at power forward, I think he's definitely in consideration at 4,600. And yeah, I think that might be pretty much it for power forward. Not a ton of guys I see here. There are guys here I've talked about earlier. Like I said, RHJ, TJ Warren. I think these are guys you can target at power forward. But not a ton of just power forward plays I'm seeing. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to center. Alright, so up top at center, we've got Andre Drummond at 8,200 going up against the Lakers. It's a great spot for Andre Drummond. He's going up against Brook Lopez. And Brook Lopez, probably one of the worst rebounding centers. Lopez, not a very good rebounder. We know Drummond is a really good rebounder. If you just look at his last 4 games, 14, 15, 17, and 18 rebounds. I believe he has had some monster games against Lopez. I know he had some last year when Lopez played for the Nets. Drummond had some really good games. And same goes for Lopez. Lopez also had some good games against Drummond. So I think if you want to pay up for Drummond today, he's definitely in play 8,200. That seems like a lot to pay for him. He did see a big price increase, but the dude's actually been really consistent lately. 44, 44, 47, and 46 DK points in his last 4 games. So he's been getting you at least 5x in his last 4 games. So if you want to pay up for Andre Drummond today, I definitely think he's in play 8,200. But one of the core plays for me at center that I really like here is Steven Adams at 5,800 going up against the Bucks. I just love this spot for Steven Adams. He's still too cheap in my opinion at 5,800. For Adams to get 6x value, you only need like 34, 35 DK points, which he could definitely do against the spot or in this spot against the Bucks. So I really like Steven Adams today as a mid-tier sort of value play we can target at center at 5,800. I just think he's too cheap. He's been playing too well to be this cheap. He plays a ton of minutes, he gets a ton of rebounds, and he also gets plenty of opportunities to score with Russell Westbrook dishing in the ball. So love Steven Adams today at 5,800. And then, like I said, with Drummond, Brook Lopez has also had some pretty good games against Drummond. Now Lopez would probably be a guy only targeting GPPs because if you look at his minutes in his last 4 games, 18, 23, 24, and 18 minutes, just hasn't been playing enough minutes for me to want to consider him in cash. But Lopez definitely has the upside. He can shoot threes, which Drummond's terrible at. Drummond really can't defend guys outside the three-point line, which is why I think Lopez has had so much success against Drummond in the past. So for GPPs, if Lopez does somehow get plenty of minutes, gets 25, 30 minutes, he could totally crush value. So he is another center I'm definitely going to be targeting today at 5,500 going up against Detroit. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for center. There's just like 3 options I'm going to be considering here. Maybe John Henson if you want to target him. I believe Greg Monroe is going to be out for a while for the Bucks, so John Henson could have to see an uptick in minutes. And they're going to need somebody out there to go up against Steven Adams. So if you want to target him as a value play at 4,100, really cheap. You need 25 DK points for 6x value. And if he gets the minutes, which he should, now that Greg Monroe is out, I think you can definitely target John Henson today at 4,100 as a value play at center. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for center. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video. And be sure to subscribe if you are new. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button. Also, be sure to cut on notifications as well. Click the bell icon next to the subscribe button so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Good luck tonight. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. What? Yeah, neck on fro. Whoa, 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 whoa.